This is Coronavirus and You. As usual, Frederick Chitangala is my name. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are live on Prism Africa TV, channel 96 of Top Star and 14 of Movie TV Bouquets. And of course, you can catch this program live on YouTube and on Facebook. Find Fred Chitangala's Zone page, and you'll be very, very excited to be with us. And of course, we welcome your contributions to this program, we welcome your questions, welcome your how this coronavirus is affecting you in your community. Today, we are discussing cross-cutting issues, and that is a very long topic because coronavirus, by its very nature, is a cross-cutting public health issue. But we'll try to catch a few things as much as we can do. And so because of the nature of the topic, I may not necessarily have one guest today. I'm going to have as many as I can pull in during the period of 45 minutes. We are discussing the impact of coronavirus on HIV and AIDS, or people living with HIV, the impact it is having on people living with different types of disabilities, as well as the impact it is having on churches and in far-flung towns away from Lusaka. How are they feeling it? We'll call somebody in Mbala, and we are going to hear on how coronavirus is affecting. In the meantime, let me welcome my first guest in the studio. I have with me Mr. Nkata. Mr. Jonathan Nkata is a former employee of Creso Ministries. Creso is found right here in the premises where Prism Africa TV is. He's an HIV/AIDS activist. Now he calls himself, or he is not calling himself, he is a climate change ambassador, and of course, is a community health champion. Mr. Nkata, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Indeed, like long time we haven't met.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah, we are discussing a very different issue today, something that probably 5 or 7 years ago we couldn't have been talking about. We are discussing coronavirus and how it's affecting the communities. You are representing a different array of communities in your capacity, communities that are following up on climate change, communities that are living with HIV, communities that are championing the health of individuals. Tell us, how is coronavirus affecting such communities?
Let me pick up first of all HIV. HIV is a very interesting part of the discussion. But let me also point out that I'm very happy with the Ministry of Health in terms of support with people living with HIV. I know that right now most of the hospitals are giving something like 6 months stock up for ARVs. But also
You're probably the right person to ask. Do you think health facilities, ART centers, have got enough stock to give every client of about 1 million 6 months of drugs?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Let me just point out something which is interesting. I think usually when we talk about issues of health, a lot of people that have not worked in the health sector who usually comments wrongly. Even when we get statistics from the Ministry of Health, there's a way information moves in the Ministry of Health. It's not that if I test now, then the head office will have the actual result the same time. There will be a process of communication. There will also be a process of verification. So the issue is that they'll announce the result there because they have to confirm that case.
Okay.
So that brings a difference, and that has made
a very good survey that was done a month ago on the preparedness of health facilities that are dispensing ARVs in Zambia regarding month dispensing, MMD, I guess that's what it is called. Yeah, most of them did not have even 1 month of stock of drugs. I believe maybe according to what you've said, now
I've been on ARVs for about 15, 18 years.
Yeah.
And I do collect my ARVs from a site. Yeah.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that. Very happy to hear that. But let's talk about the other side. What this MMD is trying to solve. The issue of crowding on buses. I think this is one of those concerns because by nature of somebody living with HIV, especially if they are defaulting, their immunity gets compromised. And they jump on this crowded bus where there is no social distancing. That's a concern, and that's probably one of the reasons why the government chose to give
Yeah,
multi-drugs?
I think there are a number of benefits. First and foremost, it's not just being on the bus. It's limiting your movement. You see, because if I'm going to be getting maybe a monthly supply, that means I'll always be moving from one place to another, meaning that I can either infect or get infected. So it's a two-way thing. It's not just protecting the HIV person living with HIV, but also protecting the community, as in regards if an HIV client has HIV.
I hear you. Although here the interest is the vulnerability that comes with
HIV.
With HIV. Yes. Okay, so I have Mr. Jonathan Nkata here, who's trying to explain to us how this coronavirus is affecting people living with HIV. Do you think that people living with HIV have a concern by nature of them carrying a virus that perhaps they're more at risk than anybody else, despite that they're getting drugs for 6 months?
Okay, of course, they are concerned because we say there are amongst categories of those people that are at high risk.
Yeah.
But again, they're also given information to say, no, if you are on Earth, there is a degree of protection, which I'm not sure about.
But that should be a misleading information,
Exactly.
right? Because the last 2018 statistics, but maybe things have changed, but it's too short a period for things to get better. There were only 58% of people that were on ARVs that had viral suppression.
Viral suppression. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so, but of course, what you're trying to say is very true, and I do understand.
Yeah, meaning 42% are
do not
very
know,
high risk.
Extremely high risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, this is where now the issues of myths and misconceptions and misinformation come in. Why I brought this point is that, like, there have been reports to say that people, which is wrong, by the way, to tell the viewers, they shouldn't go that way, that maybe if you're on ART, because remember in China there was a time it was rumored that they were giving out ARVs as part of suppressing the coronavirus. Then again, there were some reports in South Africa which were talking about, okay, we are not seeing a lot of infections because a lot of people in this sub-Sahara with HIV, and that is actually coming out to be not true.
That is very wrong.
I'm trying to come. It's coming out to be not true because the numbers, like in South Africa, are just ballooning.
But not only that, the number of people that are on ARVs in any given country is minority. For instance, in Zambia, it's 11.3% people living with HIV. You can't say because we have a lot of people here who are on ARVs, then we have protected. No. Is 1.2 million a lot of people compared to 18 million?
No.
It's
so,
not,
of course, I'm getting what you're trying to say.
Absolutely.
So if we break it down, in short, we are saying if there are 10 groundnuts in a pot, one is being medicated, it does not mean the other 9 are protected. I think that's what you're trying to tell us.
Not at all. And of course, for HIV, herd immunity doesn't really work. Okay, so I'll come back to you, Mr. Nkata. But this at particular time, I would like to now come to the point of how HIV is affecting people living with different types of disabilities. And this particular time, I'm going to call somebody by the name of Mr. Kelly Mlenga. Kelly Mlenga used to be my lecturer in the 90s from the University of Zambia. He taught me clinical child neuropsychology. And he's a specialist in people, how to take care or how to help people living with mental disabilities learn how to read and all these things. So perhaps he's the right person to talk to right now. I hope Mr. Mlenga is ready to talk to us. So as we're trying to get to Mr. Mlenga, how is the community responding to ART in your environment?
I think they're responding well.
Any fears, General?
Yeah.
Hello, good afternoon.
Okay, so we have Mr. Kelly Mlenga, who is a clinical child neuropsychologist and a very interested person in the matters that have to do with people living with disabilities. Mr. Mlenga, welcome to Coronavirus and You TV program.
Thank you very much. How are you? How is your day?
Very well, thank you. We are very glad to have you on the program today. I called you so that we can discuss how coronavirus is affecting people living with different types of disabilities. But to your interest, obviously, maybe we can limit it to people living with mental disorders, people living with mental disabilities, people having learning challenges. How is this? How are they coping with coronavirus?
I think the population of people with disabilities, this is a very key population, and they're impacted in actually very several ways. Just to give you a good example, if you have a disability, you need to touch things. You need people to help you around.
Yes.
You need that social contact. And as we know from the guidelines concerning how we can avoid getting infected with coronavirus, that contact is one of the things, cleanliness is one of the things. So people with disabilities are impacted in that sense because they need to touch things. They need close contact with people. So in that sense, they are not likely to observe social distance. They are not likely to observe what we call respiratory hygiene. So in other words, they're a very, very vulnerable population who needs to be protected.
So do you think much is being done to ensure that they are protected?
I don't think so. Frankly, I don't think so. I think the efforts have been more towards support for the goods like living, which we know the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services is doing very well.
Yes.
They are giving them those kind of supports. But what we need to do more is to guide them more, to give them more educational information about how COVID is contracted. I don't think that is being done. I think they are actually a neglected population who needs actually to be given more support in terms of information provision, in terms of how they can avoid this quite contagious disease.
Yeah. What would be your advice to organizations that have people living with disabilities at heart? What would be your advice, even to the government, to the donor agencies regarding this very, very key and very vulnerable population?
I think my best advice is let's target them quickly. Let's talk to them directly. Let's find the key people we can talk to so that we can target key messages to them, either through the media, which I know is going around educating a lot of people, but I don't hear any message about people with disability. So there should be key targeted messages to them. At the same time, because people with disabilities need this contact with people, they need this support. So therefore, in the context of social distancing, it's not likely to be observed. So we need to educate more those people that are supporting them, that are taking care of them. If you're a wheelchair user, if you are a visually impaired person, we need to target also those supports that are around them so that they're educated more. And I think this is my message to any organization that apart from just targeting people with disabilities, let's support their supports. Let's support the healthcare systems, which are not actually being supported at all. You go into a hospital, you go into a healthcare facility, there is no message for support for people who have got disabilities.
I hear you, and it's a very big concern. One more last thing I may have forgotten to ask you earlier. Do we have literature for the blind regarding coronavirus messaging?
There is no. I think the literature is very general. It just says people with disability. If you check the messages coming from all the health organizations, very key and very important messages. But this is very general. They are not targeting specific people like the visually impaired. They are not targeting key messages to how a visually impaired person can protect himself or herself from contracting coronavirus. They are not targeting people who have got physical disabilities, who are a wheelchair user, who is constantly touching things in order to have the mobility. These messages need to be to key specific disability types, which is not happening at all. It's not.
Yeah, so you have never seen any COVID-19 messaging in Braille?
There is some messages. I think I've seen some organizations, some NGOs who are producing Braille, which is a wonderful thing. But still, when you go into a bank, there is no messaging on Braille on how to use the facilities there.
Absolutely.
You go into any organization which is supposed to support inclusiveness, these messages are missing. They are totally missing.
Mr. Mulenga, I want to thank you so much for having taken a bit of your time off your busy schedule to appear, even though through the phone on our program. And I believe that in the next few weeks, I should have you to appear for 45 minutes physically.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, Dr. Stangala. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So have a blessed day.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so that was Mr. Kelly Mulenga, a clinical child neuropsychologist. And as you have heard, he really has people living with disabilities at his heart. And of course, that's what he does. He teaches kids with different learning disabilities how to read, how to move, and also how to learn walking for those that are delaying to walk. What do you think about what Mr. Mulenga said?
Very important message, and I'm reflecting, then I'm back in my community and I'm saying, yes, there's nothing there. And, you know, he's given me food for thought in the sense that, yes, in most cases, a disabled person will need support. And then even the people providing the support are also not being reached with basic information on how they should handle the different types of disabilities. Then again, you also look at the way we do our hand wash in certain places where there's no physical person. And it's very difficult with certain disabilities for them to actually reach the basins and wash their hands. So that is a very big challenge. And I think, again, if you talk about the visually impaired, the aspects of masks, and that is also a very big challenge.
It's a very, it's getting emotional because for sure this has been neglected.
True.
This has been, look at some of these big shops now that are putting up foot-operated hand washing facilities. You've seen them, right?
Yeah.
How does somebody on a wheelchair operate that? Okay, we love those because there's no contact with the tap. But what will the person with it? Because they don't even have small buckets for the others who are physically impaired.
Actually, when you're talking about rights, it simply adds to limiting the choice of people with disabilities further. And I think as a society, we should move together. And there is this notion of carrying everyone behind, everyone, not leaving everybody behind. It means even the various disabilities should come on board, and society should be responsible for every person.
He raised a very important issue of mobility. A good number of those who are physically impaired have to touch surfaces for them
Too many surfaces. Too many
There are some
surfaces.
even move using their hands.
Yeah, too many surfaces.
And who is giving them hand sanitizer? Because they will never have water all the time.
No.
Is anybody helping them with hand sanitizers?
Sanitizers.
Is anybody helping them with masks? Is anybody helping them with gloves? Because at least if you give them some gloves, to scratch their faces, they have to remove a glove and scratch or something. Because at one point, your face will itch. Right now, I'm not acting. My nose is itching. So this is one of
actually, you know, there's another layer of impact to the disabled, in the sense that they might, like we say, need support from a physically abled, in brackets, person. So even when the income has declined from the supporter, it actually impacts more on the disabled person, so that managing to buy a mask almost becomes impossible.
It's impossible because if I've got a 10 kwacha, I would rather buy something that I will eat with my kids than buying a mask.
By the way, you know scratching is contagious, huh?
Did you just scratch because I scratched?
Yeah.
Let's go on to another sector of, we talked about HIV, we talked about disabilities. People that have limited access to good food, people that are vulnerable to malnutrition. Where are you staying? Do you have malnourished people?
I've not taken interest, but the issue is that we have droughts somewhere in Southern Province or floods.
And a lot of floods.
Yeah, so there's, from the climate change perspective, I'm very aware of what is happening in those areas.
And of course, Bangweulu also.
And Bangweulu, yeah. So I'm very aware of what is happening there. And that affects on their nutrition aspect. Then that leads to them being vulnerable to such diseases as corona and various other diseases. Then you also have people that really need that nutrition compacted with other diseases like TB. Then you also have the corona aspect. And
yesterday, I don't know if it's yesterday or the other day, the Vice President did flag off distribution of food to these people affected by floods. I think even those affected by, heavily affected by coronavirus. Do you think this should be sustained for as long as we have coronavirus? Or do we have the capacity as a nation to do this?
I'm not hoping that it lives forever. And then if it's long term again, I'm not sure whether we have the capacities to support, because we need more infrastructure. We need a bigger load of logistics moving in and out of the country. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is that if, say, we had 1 million infected with our active cases in Zambia, are we able to manage as an economy as Zambia? I don't think that is sustainable. We just have to look and start thinking outside the box on how we are going to be handling such things.
Okay, so I'm going to now take to another aspect of what we are discussing and see how coronavirus is affecting rural areas or rural towns, especially those who are involved in church work, ministry. And I'm glad to call at this particular time Reverend Peter Kaluba, who is a senior pastor of Pentecostal Holiness in Mbala. As you all know, Mbala is very near to Nakonde, and obviously we are talking to the right person. You go to church, Mr. Nkata?
Yeah, my prayer life has been disrupted. The communal prayer life has been interrupted.
So I want really to know how coronavirus has affected your prayer life.
Okay, first of all, we are not fellowship with other brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So the only...
Hello?
Okay, Reverend Peter Kaluba of Pentecostal Holiness, Senior Pastor in Mbala, thank you so much for joining us today on Coronavirus and You TV program on Prism Africa.
Thank you.
How is Mbala?
Mbala, we are doing fine.
Thank you so much. We know that Mbala is very close to Nakonde. Could you tell us if the community is experiencing or has fears because of that proximity to the border town?
Yes, actually, we have a problem this side because of maybe a town being with a border town, which is a border town right now. Because there are some people, some of them because most of our business we do it in Nakonde, and most of them they come from Nakonde to Mbala.
Yes.
And we have some people at Kasesha where it is maybe we are just 30 kilometers from the border, which is Kasesha. Some people they get in and buy maize and so forth. So we interact with a lot of people, especially Swahilis from Tanzania right now.
So they cross from Kasesha into our country to buy maize?
Yes, into our country, yes.
Is that border patrolled?
Right now, they are screening. They have started doing something. They have started screening right now.
Okay, all right. Now let's talk about your church ministry. How is it affected by Corona? Have you seen a reduction in the number of people that are coming to church?
Yeah, right now we have seen a problem in our attendance because this is now this coming Sunday to be the 5th us meeting as a church. Because they have just told us that we need just to have 50 members in the church.
Yes.
They need to congregate. But those 50 members, we don't reach 50 right now. We have not yet reached 50.
Yeah.
The first time we met, it was just 37, and the next Sunday it was 42, another Sunday it was 47. So there is a problem of fear. So we are just going into their homes to encourage them to come to church. That's why some people they haven't come out. Up from that time, after they told us no, we need to start congregating. They have not come. So there is a reduction in church membership, because altogether we are 200 in the church, but we are less than maybe 47. So it is really a problem. Yeah.
So do you think, as a senior pastor of you as Reverend Kaluba, as a senior pastor of Pentecostal Holiness in Mbala, those people are not coming to church, it's affecting their spiritual life?
Yeah, some of them, they are affecting, because some of them, they don't know to pray on themselves. So they don't read their Bibles. So people, they are just going down, and some of them, it is almost like being backslidden. They are backslidden in one another
I hear
because
you.
of this.
I hear you. How has this affected the gift of giving among your members, given that there are very few who are coming?
Yes. Right now, because before we actually went into this, the coronavirus, we are almost reaching up to 300 kwacha, that is the offering.
Yes.
So right now, sometimes it is just 50 kwacha, 60 kwacha, whatever. Those are the numbers which comes right now. Yeah. So it is really a very difficult one. And also, some people, they don't give tithe. They have an excuse because of Corona, because that's why they don't give their tithe to the Lord and so forth.
Yeah. Yeah, because most of them are dependent on a business they do. Now, because they can't travel to Mbala to make their orders, they can't do business, so they can't give to the church, right?
Yes.
Oh,
they can't give to the church.
Yeah. Now, Reverend, there could be other churches that, in fact, there are several church leaders that are listening to us right now, listening to you specifically. What would be your word of encouragement as the church is going through this pandemic?
So, actually, the encouragement was, actually, right now, we are just encouraging also the church members to just come up in numbers. The way it is, because this virus, as they have told us, maybe it will not vanish right now. Yeah. So, people, they need just to start knowing how to live with it, because if they just wait, then they are going to backslide and they will not come back to the Lord. So, but right now they should just know how to live with it and follow the guidelines which after the Ministry of Health they are putting in place, so that the church can go on, so that we can be able to reach out to other people and so forth. Although this is the right time for us as a church to reach out to the people outside there, because people that are living in fear, then if we go and reach out to them, then they can be able to come to the church.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And yes. Finally, Reverend, does your church have capacity to carry out church services live on Facebook, on YouTube?
Right now, we don't have really, we don't have right now as a church.
Yeah. So it really explains why this coronavirus should go away as fast as possible, because we want to be reaching the people with the good news.
That is true. That is true, because people, they are missing a lot. They are missing a lot.
Reverend, I would like to thank you for appearing on our TV program today, even though through a phone call. But we do appreciate your work, and we pray that the Almighty God is going to give provision and give you grace to ensure that you have what it takes to reach the people with the good news.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. You're most welcome. Thank you.
So that was Reverend Peter Kaluba, Senior Pastor of Pentecostal Holiness in Mbala, a town not too far from Nakonde. You've heard it. The church is affected. Everyone is affected. Who is not affected? Do you have any idea?
I have no idea.
Everyone is affected?
Very
Look at
affected.
me. Am I affected?
Yeah, you are. Just when you were coming in the studio, you had to do your mask.
Yeah.
You see? Yeah.
Now, you could be watching us on TV itself, or you could be watching us on YouTube, or you could be watching us on Facebook. Please, take time to call us, and we want to know from you, how is coronavirus affecting you? If you don't have a question to ask us, we want to hear from you. We want to ask you a question. How is this coronavirus affecting a different array of communities in your capacity? So please, if you can, call that number on your screen or go to Facebook and post a comment there, and we will read that particular comment, so maybe we can hear from you and see what we can learn. Absolutely. Mr. Nkata, let's get back to our final issue here. The issue of coronavirus and women and girls. Okay. In some countries like South Africa, within the US, UK, cases of GBV have gone up because of prolonged stay at home for men. Do you see this situation applying in Zambia?
It does apply.
Yeah.
You know, a home is a domain of a woman. That's where she has her free space, you know, because everybody needs some, space where they're most free, like, you know. So the aspects, sometimes if I'm staying home, meaning that all my friends will try to come and visit me at home, I'll crowd the sitting room, they won't be able even to do the watching, TV, even the singing, or even the neighbor friend to come and gossip, maybe even share some good news, biblical good news.
Absolutely.
So everything is kind of distorted. And of course, when you're together every time, every hour, you also see a lot of mistakes amongst yourselves. Yeah, so there's some people that usually, they're just born to correct other people. Huh? No matter how good you are, they'll still get a fault in you and try to correct you. Yeah, you're sweeping. Am I a papa corner sweeping a mushek? That's
are you talking to me? Because my wife was complaining about me. No, seriously speaking, I did that a few days ago. I mean, who was sweeping here? Look, the water wasn't mopped.
Yeah, so that is that.
Yeah.
Actually, it reduces the space of the girl child and the woman. What am I trying to say? Let's look at the girl child. The girl child, when the father is in the home, she can't even put a leg on the chair, So all those things limit freedoms and somehow can create some form of tension.
So what should we do? I mean, we are not working, our workplaces are closed, there's nowhere to go, there's the encouragement of staying at home, and then if we stay at home, cases of GBV start going up. What should we do then as men?
I think, no, the problem is not,
I know I'm putting you in a fix.
Yeah, no,
but you're a fellow man, so...
Yeah, but I also want to state, because the women will take for granted that it's the men that always provoke,
Yeah.
And then if we give that picture, we won't solve the problem. But I think most important, like in any situation, as a people, as a family, we should learn to coexist within this limited space.
And that's where I want you to go to.
Yeah.
Because there are so many good things we can do together as a family.
Exactly.
Rather than finding faults in ourselves,
exactly.
Right?
So we should be able to find a space that we can manage together and the likes. Learn to share the TV, Yeah, learn to give your friends time, especially as a man. Because if I'm going to spend all my 8 hours, 12 hours in the sitting room, that means the girl child might not be free to come and watch the thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and the like. So we should be able to try to balance up. And every family is dynamic, it's got its own dynamics. Huh? We should be able able to find our strengths and weaknesses within ourselves.
And complement each other.
Exactly.
Let me give you an example of perhaps recommendations of what should happen. Number one, if you are a Christian family, probably this is time to start holding those nice, short, amateur kind of Bible studies.
True.
And prayer meetings together, encourage each other, talk to the children, listen to them. Isn't it?
Also,
Because cell groups, cell fellowships, those things are not taking place anymore because of coronavirus.
But you can also find time to also look at the history of the family of the mother and father, educate the children more about where they come from, their cultures. There's a lot of inter-exchange that you can do. For example, at home with this COVID, I'm always, my mom is Malawian, so I always try to call the further kind of relatives, then we interact with the children, even if they've never really met, but there's that aspect of bonding, so I belong, So there are quite a number of things. Then again, we shouldn't forget issues of school, It's also time where parents, depending on the age of the child, can spend more time to direct the children in terms of educational issues.
Okay, so you can call the number on the screen, please. We want to hear from you. Or you can text. Apparently, I've just lost connection to internet, so I can't see what you are seeing on Facebook right now, or what you are posting on Facebook. But you can text that number on your screen, or you can call to either ask a question or answer my question. How is coronavirus affecting you? Deferment cases tend to be high when a male figure spends too much time at home, especially if there are dependents there.
Yeah.
Sometimes even biological children.
I was just reading a story. I don't know whether it's true. Yesterday, where a 17-year-old has impregnated the two sisters. One is 13 and one is 15. And the mother is devastated.
Within this period of coronavirus?
Yes. And the reason is being that the children are not going out. So they're spending more time in-house. So that was really a sad story to read.
So you've spent quite a bit of your life educating people how to live well. What do you think should be done to avert that, given the circumstances? Schools are closed.
Yeah, I think, Doctor, we should start getting prepared for more things, not just the corona aspect. We should start, like I was talking to my colleagues, by now, even the way you buy groceries in a particular compound, we should put models of how this should be done if there are such cases. At home, I'll be coming back to your point, but I wanted to illustrate something. You see, when you are buying goods, for example, you can put a pyramid. There are things that you buy every day. There are things that you might buy weekly. There are things that you might buy monthly. So the things that, like tomato, onion, vegetable, bread, that put you at high risk because you are always going out. Then the aspect of mini meal, you can, at least it's not every time. Then there are things like beans you can stock for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. So that also. But coming back to education and what we can do now, it's not something that can just come out like that, because you need to study the behavior of the people and the different communities and come up with different models that actually fit particular circumstances, because we have got different economical, religious, social activities.
Finally, the final aspect of our discussion today. Do you think coronavirus has got an effect on climate change efforts?
Both negative and positive. And the first aspect is that it's stolen, the negative aspect, the biggest negative is that it's stolen the limelight of climate change right now. Even the World Conference on Climate Change has been postponed, and I think there are also some activities in Kigali that were supposed to happen that are also being postponed. So basically it's hitting on messaging on climate change. Although they are saying in certain countries the skies have opened up, they can see the blue sky, like places like in China, you know. That has been good news, but very temporal because it doesn't.
Because industries were not running.
They were not running.
Which were polluting the skies,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Then, Doc, we are from public health, and hear me right. And I think some of these things should not be very strange to us, those of us that have been in the health sector. There's a very big relationship between environment and diseases.
Yeah,
we can never run out of that.
Of course.
So as we destroy the environment, there are certain pathogens or certain diseases or certain bacteria or fungal or viruses that begin to thrive because we've killed the controls in that. So like, for example, the trees we do cut, not knowing what they control. So when they vanish, it means you're bringing up a different group of bacteria and the likes and the
I
like.
mean, not even going too far. Coronavirus itself is suspected to have come from wild animals. Yeah, because we caught those wild animals to go and eat.
And eat. We ventured into their environment.
Yeah, so it's
yeah.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, and you know, Doc, I also wanted to share this story. I mean, I get worried usually, you know, when we hear these diseases coming. There, of course, there will always be theories. It's man-made, it's what, because politicians fighting each other at a certain level. But what we should understand as Africans, if there was somebody that wanted to eliminate the black race, the technologies there would have been wiped out a long time ago. So let's not talk about these theories and overblow. Yeah, whatever it was in the lab so that this should be targeted. This, trust me, people that are listening, technology to wipe out any race is there. If a person really wanted, that would have already happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have your last words before we say bye to our viewers?
Yeah. Stay safe, observe social distance, wash your hands, and keep listening to updates on corona. What is true today might not be true tomorrow. What do we mean? Viruses mutate every day. So their effects are very different, dependent on the time and how they are mutating or changing, in short.
Mr. Ngata, thank you so much for appearing on the program today.
Ziko.
And thank you to Reverend Peter Kaluba Imbala. We are honored to have you on the program, sir. Mr. Kelly Mulenga, my lecturer, thank you so much. You don't know how much your input had added value to this program. We hope that one of these days, like we said, we are going to have you live in studio. This has been Frederick Chitangala on coronavirus and you. Today we've been discussing cross-cutting issues. Like I said in the introduction, it's too short a period for us to finish all issues. Next week, my intention is to bring somebody from the academic circles of sport to come and discuss how coronavirus is affecting athletes when they are in lockdown. I want you to look forward to that particular topic of discussion. Thank you so much, and remember, your health is your choice. Bye-bye.
City on the hill.